Detour Show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Mask Podcast. And you know who it is? It's me. Every week it's me. So I didn't even say my name that time. I know who it is. So for this episode, I actually am going to be talking with a friend that I've wanted to have him on for a very long time. I just get sidetracked. So when I'm ready to message him, I get distracted by a billion other things. And then like last week, I shot him a message, just kind of like not even prepared. I was just like, yo, you want to record? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, now, I guess now we got to actually have a plan. So we're just going to talk, though. That's the plan. So my guest on today's podcast is a good friend of mine, Mr. Jose Diaz, and we want to be talking about everything from his fitness journey to nerd shit to just life. So what's up, Jose? Welcome to the show, and how you feeling?
What is up, brother? I appreciate you reaching out and having me on. It's been a while since I've done one of these one-on-ones, and usually I'm the one that's interviewing, not the one in the hot seat. So we're going to have a good time tonight. But once again, man, appreciate it. Feeling good, ready to have a nice convo. And how are you doing tonight? What's going on?
I'm all right, man. I got home. I'm trying to, like, as I'm having you on here thinking like, yo, I want to talk about this fitness journey, and I'm on my own journey right now. I'm trying to get back after the holiday and everything, and it's like, you know what, let me hit the ground running. So I got home from work, jumped on the treadmill, did a quick run, and then ate dinner. So it's like,
Right.
because normally what happens is if I'm recording, I make some like punk ass excuse like, oh man, I can't work out because I got to record and it's just going to be crunching time. But I was like, as soon as I got home, like went right to the treadmill,
Nice.
was done, sat down, ate dinner. I was like, okay, everything. So it's possible, y'all. It can be done.
Yes.
You can work out and
Yes.
record and eat and all this. So.
Yes, there's time for it all. It's all time management, and it's actually, we prioritize what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like working out. I remember a time when I was like, fuck that. Like I didn't like being in the gym. It was intimidating. It was fucking like, it's hard. What the fuck am I doing here? Would go through my head a million times during this fucking session. Now I can't picture life without it. You know what I'm saying? It's all perspective. It's all what you kind of want to make your time for. Like obviously we love doing this, the podcast and everything. And that tends to kind of be our priority most of the time because, we're having fun. We're talking with our friends and all the nerd shit, and that's a lot easier than fucking trying to lift 100 fucking pound weight over my head.
Hey, I for my job, I work with individuals with disabilities, and one of the folks that I take out to the community, they got him a gym membership, which I can just go scan it in whenever and go to the gym, because that's one of the things. Like, I don't really like going to the gym itself.
Okay.
Like, I have equipment here at home, but it's like sometimes there's stuff at the gym where it's like, oh, I might want to, let's go do some squats. Like, let's go do some serious squats. So I need to use the gym. I need the the rack and everything. But, that was always a hang up for me was, like, well, I'm not going to pay for a membership. I don't think I've ever paid for a gym membership. Like, I would have jobs that were like, here's a membership. You just have to scan it once per month.
Okay.
So that way it's not just sitting idle. So, but now I look at things differently, where it's like, there was a post I saw not too long ago, and it said something to the effect of like, it was a person just doing different workouts or different exercises, and there was nothing special. Very simple things. Some things, folks would even look at as like, that's not even the next, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the point that they're making is, do what you like, do what works for you.
Yes.
You don't have to have all this fancy equipment. Looking at you, Joe, And because
Don't
it's
rag on him, man. I loved it, man. I loved doing walking into his gym a couple of years ago at his house, his beautiful home. Thank you, Joe, once again for letting me in. And I saw that and I wanted to fucking work out. Like I wanted to get a session in. You know what I'm saying? That's when you see his setup. It's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know.
yeah, whenever I see any kind of videos of them working out or just in the background, I'm like, God damn. And I start looking at my basement. I'm like, well, if I got rid of this, and that, I probably could do that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like use what you have and make the most of it instead of like, well, I don't. All I have are two dumbbells, or all I have is a kettlebell, or all I have is some resistance bands. Those are still things.
You could get in an incredible workout with just a pair of dumbbells, with just a kettlebell, you know what I'm saying, and a little bit of imagination. Trust me. Trust
Uh-huh.
me. Yes, you can.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing, like you said, time management and just really you have to want to do it.
Yep,
You know?
exactly. Exactly. That's and that's something that comes with time, like it depends on, our upbringings, right? Like I was never I mean, of course in school, you get gymnastics and stuff, but if it's not, that's what, half an hour, 40 minutes or whatever, once a week, twice a week maybe. And again, you're a kid, it's hard, like unless you're really like getting it drilled into you by your parents or whatever, like you're playing baseball or any sport, whatever it might happen to be, even if it's weightlifting or whatever. That was never me growing up. So trying to, as an adult, like get into the gym and kind of learn about all this, it's daunting, you know what I'm saying? And then when it's not like really like a normal part of your life, hard things are just, not easy to kind of pick up. Like some people thrive on a challenge, and I was usually the type, man, I just want to be on the couch and, play some video games and smoke some weed and shit like that. Like I was never trying to do the heavy lifting. You know what I'm saying? But, you get older, you get wiser. For me personally, man, I got a lot of things that run in my family, like, what I'm saying, that I'm personally trying to avoid, especially now at our point in our lives, we're basically middle aged. We've abused our bodies, probably, you know what I'm saying? Smoking, drinking, partying, eating, whatever the fuck we want. And now that bill's gonna start coming due, like very soon, if you don't make changes. But it's still, we're at that age we could make changes and stuff like that. Even if you might be dealing with some, maybe some certain medical problems or whatever. So that's kind of like my main goal with it, is just to kind of be fit and healthy and try to avoid it. And hey, you never know, something might still strike me down or whatever, but you have to give yourself the best chance you can. And as I got into it, man, it's just over time, it just gets easier. You get some guidance. People help you along. Like the Fit Fan community, like our collectors community, is pretty fucking incredible. I'm finding out very supportive. Always willing to give advice, lend a helping hand. That's me naturally, you know what I'm saying, in the gym. I'm going to drop some breaking news on your podcast tonight. I haven't really mentioned it to really many people, and I'll drop it here tonight. Won't mention it yet, but I'm gonna drop it. And but just I'm naturally inclined to like help people and stuff like that. And I love what you just said, that quote, that you post that you saw, that you like use what you have, use what you need, do what you want to do. Like a lot of people are intimidated by this stuff, right? Like we're going to a gym, seeing muscular people. Like I remember I used to go in the beginning and I was like, man, that guy looks good, I want to look like him, and then like you stay consistent, you look like him, and then you're looking at the next person like, oh, I want to look like that, like if you commit to yourself, I always say it's like a compound investment, like investing in stocks or whatever. Like if you invest or whatever, your 401k, over time that's going to grow and expand. The gym is the same way. It's, you're not going to get results overnight, but consistency in going, you don't got to kill yourself. It's just being consistent in going and moving your body, conditioning yourself, and just not being, so indulgent in like what we eat and stuff like that. Because again, as I mentioned, we didn't grow up eating the right way, eating the right things, like we weren't taught to eat properly. Once you're kind of able to figure out like that balance, man, it's like It's been incredible, especially like over like the last 6 months. Like to me, I've been pretty consistent in the gym, but I was doing very comfortable workouts for a while. I started switching that up, challenging myself, but finally got my nutrition in order, and it's truly number one, bro. That's been the game changer for me. And now everybody's like, bro, like you look like a bodybuilder now. Like you look diesel and brolic. And I'm like, in my head, I was looking in the mirror and I'm almost still see the fat kid, but I know I've made the progress. I know I've made changes, and it's, it's been hand in hand, the work I'm doing in the gym, but also just not being so indulgent in the things that I eat anymore. I used to fucking pizza, soda, Chinese food, bacon, egg, and cheese all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's excessive. You could have those things in moderation and just make sure you're on point and you're eating towards your goals. And once you sort of figure that out, and or maybe just get somebody to guide you along, and trust me, man, the fucking rewards you reap, like I said, there's like an investment over time. Everything just starts to align, and one day you wake up and you're like, holy shit, I'm seeing my abs, or holy shit, like look at my biceps. I did not look like this 3 months ago. Like it's the coolest thing, and that's what makes you want to kind of keep going, keep progressing and stuff like that. So I'm trying to be like that guiding light for people, like, help people along like the way people help me along. I love like a post, like you said, you saw that post. You see that quotes and stuff, we rise by lifting others, like stuff like that. Like I love stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm all about. Collectors community, we've all hung out. I wish we could hang out in person more and stuff like that. But it's like the same thing. You find your peoples where they're at, and the community is there. They're supportive, and like I said, over time, like you just kind of make it a part of your life. And I'm so glad like I did that, like now, because I feel like everything is just aligning like perfectly. Like I've been like on the level up, like ever since I started kind of doing this, focusing on this, going back to school, kind of just progressing, slow progression, but that's still progression. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't doing that before. I was just being a fucking lazy fuck on the couch, not like really doing anything. So it just really feels good to be doing something, man.
Yeah, like seeing the transformation. Because again, like I was seeing on Facebook, but it didn't really click. And then there was one day I looked and I was like, it's Jose, but like something's different. It's like, this dude has like been hustling. He's making it happen. Like you said, you got to make it a part of your life. It's a lifestyle at this point where, you wake up, and everything that you do is not even necessarily so much like, well, everything that I do leads to this, but this is incorporated with the other stuff that I do so that I can do this.
Yes, man. And like I said, like I don't even like think about it before. I remember I used to get up, am I gonna go to the gym? Oh, I'm tired. Like it's not even a question. You know what I'm saying? I just get up and go. It's the discipline, you know what I'm saying? And thankfully, you have to just kind of build that up. There's trust me, days I might be drinking and I'm getting up fucking 4 a.m., 4:30, and it's, to be at the gym by 5, and I'm like, it's really, I want to be there, but because of how I feel, I just want to stay in bed. But I get up, I go, and then afterwards, you never regret it. You never regret it afterward. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool, man. The fitness journey has been awesome. And then, like I said, with the community out there, that also sort of keeps you going. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the videos and posting on Instagram, like that's also been like a cool learning experience. I wasn't creating reels a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw my sister do like a little mini marathon, and she's like the least tech savvy person I know, but she put like a video on her Instagram story that was edited, and I was like, how do you do that? Like, what are you doing there? And she was like, oh, it's like a reel. You throw your pictures in or your videos and you like do it. And I was like, once she kind of walked me through real quick, I was like, oh, and it's been a fun thing to record and kind of come up with like camera angles and shots that you want to take. And you know what I'm saying? Like that's been like a learning experience, like learning how to edit it. And it's almost like marketing, right? Like you're kind of putting yourself out there. I'm having fun with it. And just by doing that, I've been seeing my following grow online. You know what I'm saying? It's like slowly but steadily. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was at like on my fitness account, like had 1,000 heads maybe before, like a few months ago, and like now in the last couple of months, like I'm closing in on like 3,000. You know, like I'm not setting the world on fire with numbers, but compared to what I was doing before, like every day, like I got people that are seeing my content and hitting me up, like, dude, like I love it, like keep doing what you're doing, and calling me an inspiration and saying that they see my stuff and that makes them want to go work out. Like, wow, that's fucking incredible. Like to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, my sister, most of all, like turning her life around by just focusing on herself and prioritizing herself and putting herself first with the fitness stuff, which she wasn't before. And she hits me up and is like, thank you, like so much, because she, you know, she's gone through a tough times and stuff like that, and she's turning her life around through what we're doing, through the fitness thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually flying out there. I don't know when this is gonna get out there, but I'm going to be flying out tomorrow night to go see them. I couldn't do Thanksgiving weekend with them. The flights were a little expensive and stuff to travel this week, dirt cheap. So we're basically going to do Thanksgiving with me there this week. But I can't wait to see her and get in the gym and work out and do some collab videos. Like, we're going to have a lot of fucking fun, man, you know? So it's been awesome, dude. How have you been with the jiu-jitsu and stuff? What's been going on with that?
So I'm back on it. I took some time. Well, I didn't take time off. I just kind of was lax,
Okay.
very lax. The way that my schedule at work wasn't, and then Sarah's schedule at night, working at nights, I could only make it in on Wednesday mornings. And though I love that class, it's still, you know, it's not enough. You know, you need so much more, but it's better than none. But once I changed jobs, my schedule opened a little bit more. And when did I change jobs? We're in 2024, so I think I switched jobs in 23. Yeah, fall or spring of 23. I started, you know, I was like, oh shit, I can get the Saturday morning classes again. I get the Friday night classes again. You know, like I could do open mat on Sundays. And then suddenly I started falling in love with jiu-jitsu again. I started feeling it. I was like, yo, I'm here again. I had a small like mental setback earlier in the summer, but I dust myself off, and I'm rolling back into it now. So, you know, I'm going to no-gi every Friday night. I'm going to my Saturday morning gi class. Haven't done the Sunday open mat as much as I'd like to, but I'm getting those Friday and Saturdays in. Sarah is actually not able to work right now because our car is out of commission. So she's been home during the week where I would be able to go train, but our car's out of commission. Like, I have my work vehicle, and I don't want to like abuse that
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, I get it.
One day they might look at that camera like, yo, you over here from 7 to 10, like Tuesday and Thursday nights. What is going on with this? So I don't want them, you know, questioning things. But you know, I'm getting back into it. I'm starting to feel this groove where, you know, I go in. I've been recording my rounds, and I go back and I look at them and try to correct some of the mistakes. I have this one purple belt that I go up against every week, and he's the bane of my existence. Great teammate, but I just I used to have this thing where each week I would look for one thing to take away from him. So I wouldn't say, oh, you're wrist locking this week. Well, you're not wrist locking me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, oh, you're working judo. Well, guess who you ain't working judo on this week?
Okay.
You know, he might get those wrist locks back, but you ain't getting judo today.
Yeah.
So, just trying to now look at stuff with him, and it's like, okay, he's kind of that like that. I had a guest on a couple episodes, and we were talking about chasing. You have to find someone to chase. And he's who I'm chasing right now in terms of like just skill acquisition and just understanding. But just being back at that point on the mats for me says a lot, because you know, a year and a half ago, or about a year and a half ago, 2 years, I was not ready to quit, but I was definitely in the sour spot where I was just like, why am I doing this? I don't feel like I'm progressing. I don't feel comfortable. And now, I get rounds in where I feel like, some weeks I might say, all right, today this is what I'm working on. I'm going to have a game plan, and I want to focus on sticking to the game plan instead of freestyling. Because sometimes things don't go your way, and you're like, all right, go with what you know,
Yeah.
scramble, go with pressure passing, do what you know to do, versus now it's like, okay, this is my plan. It goes, it goes awry, but it's like, nope, go back to it, go back to it. You're in control. So right now with just jiu-jitsu, and then again, working out and running and everything, that's kind of fueled everything on the mats as well, because I think once I started training, I started seeing these smaller guys kick ass. And I was like, oh, I don't gotta, I was jacked. I was coming off of football, I was like muscles out my neck,
Yeah.
just like unnecessary. And then I was like, oh, we can let all this joint go. But the problem is I got too comfortable, and though I was loving jiu-jitsu, my like strength was
Yeah.
like gone. I was
Yeah.
just not getting strong. I was just so now I'm like, you know what? I got to find a way to kind of incorporate, my personal fitness journey along with like bringing this to the mats, because there are times where I try to do something, I'm like, I can't sit up properly. It's like my abs are
Oh.
too weak.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
strengthen those joints. So that's why I am now, is just trying to get back, or not just get back, but kind of remain and keep that consistency and keep that love for the game, and also tying it all together.
Yeah, dude, I love that you kind of said that, because it does go hand in hand. Back in the day, me and my brother trained in pro wrestling and stuff like that. One of our local gyms and stuff. But we weren't eating properly, and we weren't really working out in the gym. But we were young, fucking energetic. So, and all the ring work that we were doing, it kept us skinny. Like no matter what we ate, we were pretty. We were lifting other guys up. So we kind of got nice little builds just by doing stuff like that, but we weren't doing the work like that we should have been in the gym. If we would have been doing that back then, like who knows? Because me and him were like the top guys in our school. Like we were the top wrestlers. I still think about that sometimes. Like what if? But that's fucking 20 something years ago now. You can't fucking be like, what if? Because it's gone. That time's gone. But doing this stuff now, and like you said, it does go hand in hand. If you and you said it, consistency. We're consistent in the gym, and just sort of condition yourself back up, like you said, well, almost like back when you were playing football, jacked up. Just getting some strength, like you said, in your core, your arms, your legs. You will be tossing dudes in jiu-jitsu. It will help you tremendously in that other sport. You know what I'm saying? Because doing these physical things, you have to be fit. You have to be fit. If we're kind of just coming in off the street and trying to do these things, we're gonna get trashed every time. Like you brought the purple belt. That's your bane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. I never really heard that term. You said like something to chase. I haven't really seen like my gym partner like that, but he's a younger guy. He's like 26 or 27 years old. Just happened to be there working out at the same time I am. Started working out with the guy. He's jacked as hell. He pushes me past my limits every time we fucking work out, and I think that's been a great and tremendous help for me in these past few months. Like that I'm indebted to that dude and his guidance and his help. So that's almost kind of like what I'm trying to chase. So you brought that up, and I didn't see it like that, but I'm like, I saw him today in the gym working out, but we didn't work out together. He was doing something else. He came late, but I was like, man, like he saw me kind of like flexing. He's like, bro, like he looking crazy, and I was like, dude, that's like you, that's your help. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, I'm not too far behind you now. Like he kind of flexed his arm, and I threw up mine, and I was like, hey, like I'm catching up, So that's cool, like what I'm saying, and having that's almost like goal setting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when you have somebody like that, like almost like you're striving to get better, right? You have a goal like that you're looking forward to. Sorry, my dog is barking in case that's coming through. And she's a little pain in the ass, bro. I fucking love her, but I want to fucking choke her right now. having that goal, something to chase, like you said, that's gonna also drive you and motivate you to just show up every day and keep getting better. And I just always tell that to people: just show up for yourself, because that's essentially what you're doing. It doesn't matter whether it's a workout or you're playing a sport or whatever. Just doing the physical activity, and I call it like you're just pouring into yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like the mental rewards for that, like you mentioned you had a mental setback. I almost want to talk to you about that if you're comfortable like talking about it, but I
Absolutely.
understand how that could fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Like that used to do me in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in your own head, so you don't do what you're supposed to do because your mind fucking yourself. Like, and the working out, like stress at the job from a couple of years ago where I was almost at a point of a mental fucking breakdown. I actually did have a breakdown at work, like new onset, because I'm not an anxious person. I'm not the type that feels like nervous or anxious. And I had a fucking breakdown at work because of like the amount of work I was dealing with, and I had a boss at the time that was just unbearable. And ever since then, it's like every now and again I sort of catch myself in my feelings, almost like I want to cry and I don't know fucking why. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. But the gym has almost like eliminated that since I've like started working out and been consistent, and like I'm there every day. Like if I do feel weird or whatever, like as soon as I have my workout or whatever, I'm like, I'm chill, I'm good. Work, it doesn't, whatever happens at work don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like any bullshit in real life, like it's just like, okay, you get hit with a problem, assess and then deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just it's helped in that way also. And just so grateful for that. Like that's why I'll always push to some people to be like, yo, like just do what you can. Get on it. Get on it, so you could because your life will improve. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it happening with my sister, it's happening with me. I see it happening with the other people in the fitness community, like real people, like real with real lives, with kids and families, and dealing with a whole bunch of fucking hardships. And I see, when you see the before and afters, it's Tuesday, right? Transformation Tuesday, it's incredible when you're seeing like the things that, the progress that people have made, and the things that they go through and how they just push through, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very inspiring, you know what I'm saying? And, that's the push, you know what I'm saying? That's, a little bit of that every day is all you kind of need to just keep going, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of misery out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. So, just to be able to be in such a positive environment, and the gym has just been nothing but positivity for me. That's the bubble I want to stay in. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all the misery and the hate and the fucking nonsense. Not about that. You know what I'm saying? Because ever since I expelled all that shit, like I said, it's just, I feel like my life has just been on a steady, like, level up, level up. Like, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my life right now, doing the least amount of work I've ever done at my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the best fucking shape of my life. You know what I'm saying? But and like that, and like I said, it just keeps getting better and better and better. I wanna keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to keep that going.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy to hear that you're kind of finding your stride back and stuff like that, and that's good, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you love that, and you said about a year and a half ago you wanted to quit. That can happen. Again, we're fucking in our own heads and shit like that, but you love it when you're kind of like, you got back into it, you're finding your groove, you're finding the routine. Now just find that other piece of it. That's, you got equipment at home. You said you got on the treadmill as soon as you got home from work. Do that every day. Those little things every day, half an hour on the treadmill. You know what? Let me fucking lift weights for half an hour. You know what I'm saying? A half an hour every day. How many hours is that per week? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hours you weren't doing before, minutes you weren't doing before. That all adds up, bro. It all adds up.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of folks, and myself included at times, don't connect, is that a workout doesn't have to be 3 hours long.
No, no, no.
30 minutes is plenty. I tend to do about 45 to an hour, depending on what I'm doing. If
Hmm.
I'm lifting, I'm looking at about 45, with some stretching at the end. So, maybe 50. If I'm on the treadmill, I'm looking at an hour. It just all depends. And also time,
Hmm.
factors
Yeah.
in. If I do something early in the morning, then I'm doing 30 minutes because I don't want to get up too early. I want to get up early
Yeah.
enough to get a sweat and then get a shower and get out the door. But if I want to get a solid hour, then it's like, all right, you got to get up at five o'clock to be ready at
Yeah.
5. I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that, son.
Come on.
I'm not doing it. But that that's just the thing. It's like understanding though what you're capable of, and it's there are these things that we make excuses, for one thing or the other, and it's like the second that, like you said earlier, prioritizing. The second that you realize, you know, I'm just bullshit. There's a period where once I got the new job and I had weekends. I was like, holy shit, I don't know what to do with a weekend. I've never had a weekend. So what do I do? So I started playing Madden. And I was like, I haven't played Madden in 6 years. So I sit down and I'm playing Madden. I'm getting into it. And then I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. But it's like, all right. Then I start kind of figuring out, all right, this is what we can do. You still want to work out. So I work out a little bit, play Madden, and then it's kind of like making a compromise with my time. But as time went on, Madden started becoming more involved, and I was like, okay, I gotta pull away from that because my physical is now starting to suffer because I'm sitting here playing this game, and though I love this game and I love football, I can't get wrapped up in this thing that I'm not going to be playing any esports anytime soon. I'm not competing at jiu-jitsu either, but the point is like that physical activity is going to pay off in the long run versus me playing a video game where I have a buddy, he loves to play Madden. He's always like, we should, do a season together online. And it's like, I'm not on that level. I'm not there. Number one. And number two is it's like, I told him, I was like, well, look, I'll do Madden. I'll do a season if you come do jiu-jitsu with me. It's that easy.
Ooh, nice.
Come
Yeah, a
do
little trade off. Yeah.
he won't come do jiu-jitsu. I know he's had some back issues way in the past, and it's like, well, dog, you don't have to come in and like go full clip. As a matter of fact, like my body is all types of falling apart, but I go at a pace that's comfortable for my body. I roll with a guy that's 60 years old, and I'm 46, and it's a good competitive role. We're going at a decent pace where we're not trying to break our bodies. So it's like I always try to let my buddy know. It's like, look, you can come in there. You don't have to like roll like an Iron Man. You can come
Yeah.
in there. And honestly, you're new, so you're going to be learning. You're not going to be going full clip anyway. But my whole thing is, if you want me to do your thing, you got to come do my thing. I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather go play volleyball with them than play Madden because, like I said, I, I'm just not in like I'm not into the online play. I'm not into the play with other people.
Yeah.
It's like when I get beat by the computer, it's like it's a computer. When I get beat
Forget
by
about
another
going
person,
online then. People will scrape you if you're getting beat by the computer.
oh, oh yeah, yeah. It's like you play with somebody online, and the thing is, it's like if I'm playing online with people, I got to be able to reach out and touch somebody because if you're getting a little lippy,
Nah.
you know,
Yeah.
you about to catch this controller across the head. Like we take it back to the '90s where we sat next to each other and played video games.
Oh, bro, yeah, those were the days. That's what we had to do. This online shit. Like, I mean, it was amazing. Like, I remember fucking like coming home from work doing the night shift in like the mid 2000s and coming home, 7 a.m., and then jumping on Gears of War with my fucking boys, and that's when that online shit was new, kind of relatively new with the 360. So we were fucking amped, bro. Like, I just remember like having so much fun, what I'm saying, playing from like 8 in the morning to fucking like 2 in the afternoon, and it's like I gotta fucking go to sleep because I gotta work tonight. Those were definitely the days. But now, like, I'm kind of like you. I kind of prefer a more single player experience. I play more like the wrestling, like the WWE stuff. And I've tried it online, but it's always like a little laggy. And then, like I said, like you got guys that like live on that shit, and you're just gonna get fucked up, So I prefer like GM mode on not the GM mode. It's like universe mode. You book the whole show, you book whatever matches you want. It puts you on a calendar, like, and you play towards the pay per views and stuff. So that's usually the mode I'm playing in, and then. with all the creation suite, you could fucking download like almost any wrestler you want. So I got like a
Wow.
AEW roster on there. I got TNA guys
Okay.
in there, you know, with the logos and fucking the belts and everything, bro. Like it's
Oh,
crazy.
nice.
You know, so I love that shit. Like the way you love the Madden, like I love doing that shit. But again, like time management, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to fucking play. And trust me, I remember, bro, like a few years ago when like Fallout 3 was new, dude, that's fucking game consumed 18 months of my life. I fucking did nothing but play that game. Like I have to log in and see how many hours I got on that shit. Like I'm literally I could walk around the wasteland and decimate anybody like with one shot. Like that's how like leveled up I am. But you just gotta kind of learn the time management. You know what I'm saying? Like the video games and stuff is cool. Play for an hour or two, and but make sure you dedicate at least that 1 hour towards your fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
nothing to it but to do it. You know, like I'm not super structured or rigid or anything like that. I think I kind of wanna practice like maybe setting up a calendar for myself like hey like do this at this time, do this at this time, because you know we're all willy-nilly. If I fucking get on the couch, you know, have a drink or you know blaze one real quick, and then before I know it fucking 5 hours went by and I haven't done dick. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like damn, maybe if I do like put certain alarms on my phone like 5 o'clock study for this, fucking 6 p.m. cook fucking dinner, fucking 7 p.m. all right, play video games for fucking an hour, you know, 8 p.m. get ready for bed, shit like that. And I know, you know, people that I think do things like that seem to kind of like, you know, go further, you know what I'm saying, with their time and the things that they do, you know.
Yeah.
So
They, yeah, they tend to, it's like you have the structure. I don't, it's kind of a, double-edged sword, I guess. You know, you have the freedom to have, that freestyle, and that means you can go with the flow. Nothing will offset your day. Nothing, like it's something crazy, like I don't know, like a fucking helicopter crash into your house, some shit like that. But even with that, it's still, at least for me, because I'm a very go with the flow. I have a structure, but I still go with the flow. I'm very like, my saying has always been, I expect the best, but I'm prepared for the worst.
yeah,
So I wake up with expectations for my day, but I don't get too thrown off by things too much anymore. But it's like, but also if you have like a structure, when this is supposed to happen, when that's supposed to happen. You have alarm. I have alarms for work. I have an alarm in the morning to tell me when to clock in
okay,
because I'm driving. So when I pick my guys up, I use my phone to clock in. So my alarm goes off at 8. Go ahead, take my picture, clock in. I have my alarm set for 12 for lunch, 12:30 to clock back in, 4 o'clock to do my notes after work. It's like
okay,
those alarms, but like after work, it's kind of like
it's yeah,
I
free for all.
yeah. Well, even with that, I still kind of have to be on a structure because of like I had a friend. I remember she gave me a hard time about it. And I always say it's like, don't wait till Monday. Do it, whenever. And
Yes.
I get that. I get that for folks that can do that. And then there's me where I can't do that because what happens with me is like I document everything and I have to document from a start point. So Monday's always my start point.
Yeah, yeah.
And even better if the beginning of the month hits a Monday, because
Oh
now it's a
man,
clean sheet. And
yes.
I mean, the second of December was on a Monday. So it was like, what better time? So, for me, it's like if I'm going to work out, I have to start at 4:30, 4, it has to be, 4:45 even. It has to be something that's, I started like 4:06. Oh, like my
Throws
head is
you
all,
off.
yeah, I'm just like stressed now because I wear heart rate monitors, so I'm like tracking my heart rate, my calories burning, and everything,
Okay,
but
cool.
it's also looking at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I start at 4 o'clock, I hit start at 4 o'clock. So once that hits an hour, it's 5 o'clock, and it all kind of flows for me because 5 o'clock. All right, let me go shower, and then I'm down at about 5:20. I can sit down, eat dinner, and then start doing whatever notes I need to do for the podcast. Um, jujitsu stuff, social media stuff that I've forced myself into. Now it's just a routine that just has to be done. But everything for me is very structured, but still kind of go with the flow. To a degree, it's like I said, like if I'm set to work out, or like I'll take last week for instance, I had an unscheduled day off. Like one of my guys, he left early, so it's like, oh, I can go home. Like, all right, well, I'm going to get a workout in. It's like I wasn't planning on it, but since I'm here, let me go ahead and work out. And it's like, so there was a flow there, and it wasn't even anything of like, I got to work out at 3 o'clock. It was because it was an unplanned thing. It was just like,
Yeah.
just pick up the weights
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
go.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's fucking dope. It's nice those unexpected things, and I'm the same way, bro. Like I come home and it's like it's pretty routine. You know what I'm saying? Like I just come home and do whatever. But I just would like to kind of like aspire to be like a little bit more structured like that. Like I feel like it'll just take me like a bit further. Especially what I'm endeavoring in now. I might as well just fucking say it. So,
Let's go.
you know with all the the training and all that, the passion for helping others, I finally decided to like really just get serious with it. So I signed up with the National Academy for Sports Medicine to get my personal training certification and accreditation, my nutrition certification, and a certification in like corrective exercise and movement and stuff like that. Like I kind of just want to go all the way, be like a well-rounded trainer and stuff like that. Like I already have a passion and desire like to help people. I'm already helping people in the gym, so it's like, why not make it a side hustle, like make it official, and make it a business, and then you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm pretty personable and whatnot, that that if I talk to people and I let them know that I could provide solutions to their health issues or or problems, that I think I could be pretty successful. It's just putting yourself out there, and learning what you need to do. So I'm pouring myself into that now, hoping to get that done within the next, at least the personal training certification within the next 3 months, and then working on, the other certifications that I have to work on and stuff. So maybe within the next year or so, looking at an accredited, personal CPT,
Nice,
you know.
nice.
And
That,
NASM is the top of the line as far as like, accreditations and certifications. If you earn your accreditation in that, you could pretty much get a job at any fitness location, any gym, anywhere, and they actually, have what they call like a gym turnship, where they, will pair you with a gym, so you could get the experience and stuff like that, working on a gym floor and speaking to people, and getting that experience as like a brand new like personal trainer and stuff like that. So it's very exciting, man. I'm looking forward to what the future holds there.
good, good. I'm excited for you. That's real awesome because, like you said, you have the passion already for it. So it's like, make it work for you
Yeah.
instead of it. It's like anything that we do. Collecting. All this stuff is like the stuff that we like to do. It's like, well, why don't we find a way to? How do you get more involved? It's
Yeah.
like with jujitsu, with social media. That's kind of my whole thing. It's like, well, how do I get more involved? What more can I do? And you took it to that next level. You're like, well, what more can I do? Well, here's the next step, and let's chase after it, because if not you, then who? You know?
Exactly. Exactly. And again, it's just what the fitness thing and being dialed in is done is like just doing what you got to do every day to, to get where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? For the longest time, I just used to let so much time go by where I did nothing. I just wasn't moving forward, just doing my job every day and whatever, and being just complacent. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay, like if you're living a decent life, comfortable life, like, or whatever, like, that's good, so it doesn't all have to be like this crazy ambition of fucking, it's to make more money and live more comfortably. Is that something to aspire to? Of course. But I'm one of those people that I'm very grateful for what I have. I know things could be better, but they could also be worse. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm grateful for everything that I have and that I'm able to move my body and wake up every day and go to work and do what I do. But after a while, like I said, like once I dialed in with the fitness and it just drives you to kind of just do things. Like I was like, like I never finished my associate's degree years ago. I flunked out of fucking college. I just at the time when in my early 20s, I just didn't want to be there. My mom was like, no, you got to go to school. So I was doing it like essentially because I was forced to, not because I wanted to do it. And when you are forced to do things, you might not do well. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like that had to come from me. And I was so close, man. I did 3 semesters. I just fucking 15 credits and I would have gotten my AS. And I just said fuck it and just stopped going. And and I owed a lot of money for a lot of years because of that. A dumb, stupid fucking mistake that set me back fucking years financially. Thankfully that's all over with now, but it was also that like the because I flunked out, because I owed money for so long, it kept me in a place of like fear of like, well, I want to go back to school, but I fucking flunked out before and I owed so much money and I don't want to owe money again, like, you know what I'm saying, like, so I didn't go back. But then I was like, I woke up one day. I remember watching a video on Facebook. This guy's in our collectors group. He's in the Realm group and stuff like that. And just happened to come across like a live video that he did one day around this time of the year too. It was just after Thanksgiving, early December. He was just basically telling a story of what's in your layaway. We all know what layaway is, right? Fucking back in the day, Christmas, we wanted all these Transformers and shit that our parents couldn't afford. Put the shit on layaway, pay a little bit down and little by little, and eventually you get it. If anybody doesn't know what layaway is. So he equated that to like your life. Like, whatever you want in life, if you want that car, you want that house, you want that job, you want that fucking 6-pack abs, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's yours if you want it, but it's on layaway. So what are you doing every day to pay down on that layaway? And that story he told, it was about a good 40-minute video. Like, the way he told the story and equated it to real life, it just struck something in me to be like, fuck, like, I'm in debt, let's fucking take care of this, like, I want to go back to school. What do I need to do? Or how do I get my transcripts? How do, like, I just started taking steps to be like, okay, if I keep thinking about these things, let me start putting action to my thoughts. And once I started doing that, man, like, within 3 years, debt free, you know what I'm saying? Like, signed up for school, and even though it's still been the ultimate slow roll, I just got one bullshit fucking elective class to take to get my associate's degree in business management. You know what I'm saying? So I'll finally be a college graduate once I do that in the spring. You know what I'm saying? And then move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the steps I need to do to move forward? This personal training certification, I'm gonna put my all into this. Because I'm actually into this, you know what I'm saying? So reading through the textbook and answering and taking the quiz, like, I'm excelling and I like it, you know what I'm saying? So it's just sparking something in me to be like, okay, like, where else can we take this? Like I mentioned to you before we went live, I haven't done my podcast in a minute. I kind of let that die, but it was growing when I was consistent steadily. I had people giving me feedback like, hey, I like what you're doing, especially what we're doing right now, like the one-on-ones with people. I like talking with people. So, now I'm thinking maybe see what's up and carve out some time for that and start prioritizing that maybe. We have the time to do these things. It's just prioritizing and being like, okay, I'm going to dedicate maybe an hour, 2 hours to this, an hour to this. The willy-nilly shit that I'm used to, it wasn't serving me for like a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, what's in your layaway? What are you paying down? Like, that's sort of like the philosophy I'm trying to live by, like daily, like do something every day, wake up every day and do something. We live life one day at a time. So when you look at like an end goal, especially when it's something big or major, it could seem daunting. And that's how I used to look at things, like, fuck, like, I can't do this shit is too much. But we just wake up every day. We live life one day at a time. So every day, wake up and don't fucking stuff your face. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, be on point with your nutrition. Go and get your workout in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you get up and brush your teeth and go to fucking work every day because we gotta fucking pay our bills. I sort of looked at the fitness and doing things to progress my life forward like that in the same way. Start prioritizing that and make sure you do one thing every day to get better. And ever since like I took that point of view, like I said, level up, level up, level up. You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't matter if it's slow, fast, whatever. Like, life is different for everybody, but it's been good, man. Like, it's been good. Like, you know, like I'm glad I'm even able to talk to you about it because I don't really talk about it much with people. You know, I'm not, you know, like I don't like to brag. I don't like to kind of, you know, throw my shit out there. Besides the social media shit, I'm just having fun with that. But it's not throwing shit in people's faces or anything like that. I'm just doing what I do and I'm having fun. And if people get anything out of that, fucking great. Because it's not like I'm making any money off this shit or anything like that. So, you know, like it's just having fun and doing your thing and kind of just doing what you want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? And when you start doing it, I feel like when I started doing that, everything has just been getting better and better and better, you know? So I want to kind of maybe like see what's up, get back into this, do the podcast, maybe restructure, you know, it's just finding the time to do it, you know? And, you know, hey man, doing this, man, I think you're sparking something in me now. Inspiration.
Right there. It's right there. It's right in your grasp. I mean, you got a lot going on for sure. But I think that's just the thing though, too. It's like when you look at, you know, the plate, you say, oh man, I got this, I got this, I got this, and I got that. But it's like, you know, I can say for me doing a podcast, I don't know what everybody else's behind the scenes on the podcast is. I don't do much of shit. Like I do the bare minimum. I always joke if I were to have a network, I would call it quantity over quality. I got a bunch of podcasts, but they all sound like some dog shit. But you know, it's not even about like for me. It's not like well, I got to have the best sounding podcast. You know, to me, it's like I want to have conversations, and I know there are folks that are like, well, you know, you can have you know this black belt and this MMA fighter wrong, and that's cool. That really is. But the thing is, I like to talk to like regular folks that are on the ground because I find those stories, number one, to be fascinated. Number two, like you say, you don't really talk about this. You don't really get to talk about it much. So it's like, I know there are people out there with things to say and they don't have a platform to, you know, speak on. So, you know, for me to reach out to like, you know, a top flight grappler, they've already told the story so many times. It's like, what can I bring that's different to them? Probably nothing. So, you know, it's like I like to talk to regular everyday folk. And, you know, some people could say, oh, well, you know, you want to talk to the common man or the nobody. It's like, it's not even that. It's just like I want to talk to people that, like I said, have something to say, but know where to say it. And the thing is with, you know, how I structured any of the podcasts, the horror podcast, the beer review podcast, is pretty much turn on the mic and go. And I have people say, well, how do you like have so much time to do, you know, you do a lot of shit. You do 3 podcasts. It's like, yeah, but I don't do them good.
So I remember, dude, in the beginning, I was that freak that just wanted the shit to be perfect when I started verbally challenging. Dude, the editing, if I recorded an hour, it took me 4 hours to fucking edit it because I was trying to cut out every little fucking breath sound or every little fucking like or whatever, you know. After a while, it's like, fuck that, bro. Hit the button and go. Like, you're just going to get what you get. Like, minimal editing. Like, you know, like adding in the music and maybe a sound effect here and there, you know? Like, that was fun, but it was basic. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it was like the easier I made the process for myself, then the more content I would put out, but not trying to say like, hey, I'm trying to put out shitty content. The content I felt was actually okay, but I was just trying to do, you know, because it's like a one-man show, you know what I'm saying? Like editing and all that shit takes time, you know what I'm saying? So I was just trying to kind of make the process as easy for myself as possible, and I wound up finding like a flow eventually, like doing like what we're doing now, like having just real conversations. Don't worry about the fucking breath sounds or the ums and the uhs. Like, that happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as people could hear us, you know, have this conversation, I honestly think that's all you really need. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You know, so And if
and,
people
and
enjoy it, great. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
yeah,
be personable. I'm glad we're going almost an hour, and I'm like, all right, good. I'm doing okay in the hot seat.
yeah. But that's the thing. I think that's what's perfect though is the ums and the breath sounds and like because I remember I want to say the first 10 episodes I would sit there and I remember just thinking like, yo, it's taking me 4 hours
Oh
to
my god.
edit a 1 hour show. But then and then I'd have some friends on where we would record for 2.5 hours. And it's like, but those started becoming well, I want to say episode seven. Episode seven, I had my buddy Steve on, who I now do the Columpton Bear Club with. We recorded for 5 hours.
Oh my god.
So I had to break it up into two parts.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I had to edit because we're just we're friends of 30 years. So we're just telling stories that I'm like, yo, we can't put these stories out, yo, because this is incriminating.
A whole lot of
So
inappropriateness.
yeah, so I was kind of that turn, where I started realizing I had to kind of put a cap to some degree. Like,
Yeah.
I let episodes run. It's like I always say to people, minimum 35, maximum two. But what ends up happening is like when it comes to those edits now, and I can kind of hear it as we're recording. I was like, okay, there's a part earlier on you were talking and I had to shut my Wi-Fi to hardwire in, and normally it does it pretty smooth, and it glitched, and it came back on, and you're still going. I was like, all right, I caught him at a point that seems like it's a good cut in, but I think I just lost 8 seconds.
Oh no.
So I don't know what it's going to start. It might actually be fine on your end. I don't
Yeah.
know because there are times where things glitch on here. Then I listen, I was like, oh, it's not there. But it's like when I listen to these things, as I'm recording, I'm like, I kind of map out what I have to edit. I look at the timestamps. I'm like, okay, I have to go here and clean this up,
Yeah, that's what I
things
started
like
doing.
that.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to do as you start, kind of doing it more.
Yeah.
But
Get better.
there was a point where, yeah, everything in my mind had to be perfect. And then I just got to a point like with Columpton, I don't edit Columpton. The
Yeah.
Columpton Bear Club, we record and we say horribly dumb things. And we just say, you know what? You're going to get what you're going to get, unfortunately. So if you like Drake, don't listen. I got big feelings.
He's sitting on Drake. He came up as my most played fucking artist on my YouTube music.
Don't listen to this week's episode then.
I mean, you can shit on him. Whatever. It's fine.
But to be fair, but that's what we do. We just sit there as a couple. We call it happy hour podcast. We just sit around. We review beers and we just crack jokes on each other and talk shit. And the thing is with that, minimum editing, unless I say something so heinous where it's like, ooh, I should. And the thing is, we're face to face. We're like in the same room, so I could just say, hold on, let me go back and clean that up. And then we keep going. But like the horror podcast, I've got that dialed in now, where it's like I have the outline, and we just read from that outline. Minimum editing, if any at all. And then this podcast, it's like I still have to play it back, but it's no longer a 4 hour ordeal.
Yeah. That's rough,
if I,
man.
if I record for an hour, you're looking at maybe an hour 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending. So it's just even though it's like you might have a lot on your plate, I'm optimistic that you could roll that right back in, and you've already got the structure there. So it's just a matter of like just kind of getting back on the bike, pedaling, and and considering now with the workout stuff and everything, and you're still a collector. I mean, you've got a host of things to throw in there, dude. Like, do that shit so I can go ahead and get back on the wagon and start listening and be like, okay, here we go. Yeah, I need to add another. What I think I need a Friday pod. I think maybe
Nice.
Friday or a Monday.
Yeah. That's it. Every day of the week almost. Yeah. It's like wrestling.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Like, yeah, you're a big. I should know because when I do go on Facebook, the wrestling group comes up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like you're the one that's doing most of the contributing, like the heavy contributing. And it's like, okay, it's like I think a couple years back, I had Pinkerton on. Like I did the lead into WrestleMania. So I think I had 4 straight episodes where I talked to somebody about pro wrestling.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, this was fun. And I think I'm going to do it again this year because I'm like, you know what? I want to, because I don't watch pro wrestling enough for me to really, really be in. Like, I watch the events, like what just happened? Survivor Series,
Yeah, we
I
had
think.
Survivor Series. Yeah, War Games and stuff. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a
I
fun
watched
match.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I don't go into it anymore like, how I used to as a kid. It's like, I want this to be the greatest pay per view ever. I just want to I want to see some fun matches. The women's war games, a lot of fun. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
some hiccups, but a lot of fun. Um, the men's war games match, fun times. Didn't expect to see the U.S. title change hands.
Change hands.
So
Yep. Yep.
but it was a fun time. So that's how I look at it. It's like I'm just looking for a fun time. And also, once I started looking at pro wrestlers as stunt performers instead of like, fighters,
Yeah.
it made it so much more enjoyable to watch. And if they mess up a stunt, if they someone messes up a spot,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is live and they're
It's
doing this.
live, bro. One take actors, they're one take stunt actors essentially is what they're
Mhm.
doing, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like a little like I get it, it's disheartening, they fuck up, the crowd's like, you fucked up, you fucked up. But like I did that shit is not easy. You know what I'm saying? To be on point and not fuck up, you gotta be like elite, it's elite. So
Yeah.
I get it, man, and it's true. Like, yeah, it's entertainment. I remember being such a mark when I was younger, thinking like it's real and shit like that. But when you do look at it from like that entertainment standpoint, that there's just they're just telling stories essentially. I think a lot of people find it like a lot more enjoyable. Like the ones that tend to not get it and be like, "Oh, like that's not real, right?" It's like, yeah, like we know, the show that your prime time show you're watching is not real either. It's the same fucking thing, like just happens to be live, and it's the thing like from back in the day when they used to try to present it as like a real sport and stuff like that. I feel like that's probably some of that still carries over from like that old school era because that's what they used to do,
Yeah.
So,
You
but
have
I love it, man.
figureheads that do that.
I
Like,
love that shit. If you do that, I'll definitely have me back, bro. I could fucking talk my head off
sure.
about wrestling
But
all
I
day.
mean, it sounds like I got my 4 then.
There you
So
go.
I know Pinkerton and I have been kind of every so often I go up and do Nerd Rage, or
Hmm.
even if I'm up in the area, we talk. And I mentioned it's like I want to do that again. I got my buddy Jr. I want to get with him and do a wrestling episode again. And a previous guest that was on here recently, Matt Vega, over at Oast Nation. He's the one who actually kind of reignited the ideal. So, when the time comes, I'll let you know.
Cool. Looking forward to it, man. Thank you.
Before we wrap up a bit here, I want to do I'm trying to get back to doing these would you rather's
Okay.
because I like I always forget. I always have the stuff by the side, and then I'm like, oh no, we wrapped up and I didn't do would you rather. So we're gonna do a fitness would you rather. All right. So I've got a few would you rather's here, fitness edition. So I've been trying to cater these differently as I got the Colompton Beer Club would you rather that we're
Hmm.
gonna do for episode 200 upcoming. 200 would you rather's. That's gonna be a fucking pain in the ass, but it's gonna be
Wow.
fun. Hey,
Wow.
it's happy hour. Oh, and plus, like we're probably gonna be drunk. So,
Oh, be careful. That might be another 5-hour podcast.
hey, I know it's going to be fun times. But yeah, these different would you rather's. I was like, uh, over the weekend, I was like, let me go ahead and Google some and see what we can make happen here. So,
Cool.
the first would you rather I'm going to ask you is: would you rather do 100 push-ups in a row or hold a 5-minute plank?
Yo, fucking planks, man, are tough as fuck. But 100 push-ups, I think I would opt for the 100 push-ups in a row. Because
Yeah,
I like push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Even though there's no way in fucking hell I could do 100. I could maybe get to 50 and then I'm done. But planks are tough, bro. I struggle with the 1 minute plank. I can't imagine 5 minutes.
Oh,
So
I did a 1 minute plank yesterday, and well, not just a 1 minute. I did several 1 minute planks, and each time I got to that round, I looked, and I'm like, just sweat just falling all over the place, and I looked, and I was like, no one's gonna know if you don't do it.
but you'll know, dude. I tell that shit myself all the time, especially when I'm not working out with my boy, and I'm like, well, he's not watching me or whatever. Like, I don't have to do the 10-second hold at the end of my fucking set, like the way he makes me, and I'm like, but then I know I'm cheating myself, so I fucking do it. Yeah.
That I get myself was like, no one's gonna know, and it's like, yeah, but the thing is, in the long run, when I'm trying to, do fucking De La Hiva guard or anything in jiu-jitsu where I got to sit up, there's those weak ass abs now.
Exactly.
'Cause I skipped out on 3 minutes of planks.
Dude, I same shit in my head. I think about it, I'm like, if I don't do this, I'm not doing my best. I'm not doing my best. I was like, I gotta do my best.
All right, so the next one. Would you rather train with your favorite celebrity athlete for a day or have a lifetime gym membership at no cost?
Lifetime gym membership, no cost. I'm not starstruck. Yeah, I've met famous people. Like, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, here in New York, sometimes you could randomly run into somebody. Or Comic Con, I've fucking run into a couple of celebrities just walking the show floor. It's a cool experience, but fucking free gym for life? Give me all day, every day.
It's a deal breaker, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's free for forever. Let me add it.
Especially if it's like any gym, give me the high priced fucking Equinox top of the line, whatever the fuck top of the line gym is. Give it to me. Give it to me for life.
Give me what you owe. All right, this one, number 3. Would you rather have abs but weak arms, or strong arms but no abs?
So I'm pretty much kind of like at the strong arms and no abs now, so I think I'll take that. I'm working on my abs though. Like, I actually got the outline because again, it's all diet, right? So I'm sitting at a very comfortable like 22% body fat. Like, if I got to 20, I'd probably be like, ooh. But I feel good at the 190 that I'm at now, and been sort of like maintaining that. But it has been my goal to get to 15% body fat because I've been wanting to see my abs for like the first time in my life. So they're there. Like, I got like kind of like the outline, but they're not like the way I want them to look. But I don't want weak arms. You gotta have freaking arms, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta flex. You know what I'm saying? So just by base aesthetics, give me the strong arms because you could hide those weak abs.
Yeah, it's like it's like kind of that, like, on surface. That's what people are going to see anyway. First is the arms. They're not going to see abs unless you're
The
walking
guns.
around with the belly shirt.
Exactly.
I could pull it off. I probably would rock the belly shirt. I think we get some BJJ Wiki belly shirts. Just walk around with them.
Sign me up.
Just show up to training one day. They're like, "What are you doing?" Like, I don't even know, but it's a thing. Just go with it. Here, I brought you one.
That's great.
All right, number 4. Would you rather work out outside in freezing temperatures or in extreme heat?
Extreme heat. Extreme heat. Because cold. If you're cold working out, like, first of all, like, that's no good. Like, if you're in extreme cold, it's going to be extremely hard for you to warm up. If you can't warm your body up when you perform an exercise, then you're going to fucking hurt yourself and injure yourself. And plus, fucking being cold sucks. Now, the heat, I've done like walks, like, like 2-mile walks between like my work and home. It's just a couple miles away and stuff like that. So I power walk. I could do that shit in 35 minutes. I've done that shit in fucking 90-degree fucking weather, mad humid, sweating my fucking balls off. Like, you know what I'm saying? And As long as you're kind of conditioning yourself, you could kind of get through. It's dangerous. You gotta, stay hydrated and all that. But I feel like you could get through a workout, whatever you wind up doing, in heat than in cold. Cold, you're just gonna fucking hurt yourself and be fucked up, and you're gonna be fucking shivering in extreme cold that you're not even gonna be able to fucking do anything. You're gonna be shaking. So give me the heat. Give me the heat. I like the heat. When people are like fucking like, oh my god, fucking like when the Mario sun is trying to kill us and shit, and I'm like, yo, it's fucking summer, bro. I'm here for this shit. This is what I'm here for.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
And on top of all that, fuck that cold. I can't. It's cold here now. So
I hate it. I hate it, bro. I hate it.
Guys were like, "Oh, you want to go up to Detroit for Christmas?" Fuck no, no. Number one, it's cold. Number two, it's cold. Like I'm not doing that. I don't know how Eric B does it. I'm gonna message him one day. Just like I'm gonna look at the weather. Like, ooh, it looked like it's 15 degrees. Let me send him a text real quick. Like, yo, how you feeling?
Right? Fucking. I mean, I just don't like the cold. We're used to it, being here in the Northeast and stuff. It's shit we got to deal with. But visiting, my stepdaughter and the grandkids in Arizona. We've been doing that a couple of times a year for the past couple of years. We're considering doing the move just because the weather's fucking nice year round over there. Like even their winters is like a spring, like, or fall here in the city where it just feels nice. I'm all about that nice, crisp, like 60 or 55 degree like hoodie weather. But this fucking 30-degree fucking, no, I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. I've been seeing people like up north post the fucking snow. Like I'm like, no, I ain't ready.
I got one friend down here. She keeps posting whenever they talk about the chances of snow, and she puts up the forecast and she's excited. I'm like, girl, you better calm the fuck down. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's snow, well, first off, for my job, if it snows, we don't go to work because vehicles. So they're like, oh, we can't have you on the road. So I fucks with that. But also the thing is though too is like, oh, it snows. Oh, I gotta go out and shovel the walk. Like my kid, she's like, I just want to play in the snow. I'm like, girl, go somewhere.
It's nice in Christmas time, like if you happen to catch some snow, like on Christmas Day, and you get the scenery, like that's beautiful, whatever. But when you're dealing with the real life bullshit of having a fucking shovel or just commute in it, like no.
Oh yeah. Well, I think was it when my wife was pregnant? Then I think actually a few years prior, like we had, I think 2010, we had like that monster snowstorm that just fucking buried everything. And then I think 2000, my wife was pregnant, 2015 to 16. So 2015, 2016, we had a decent snow. I think that was the last time we had a pretty good snow down here. And that was whatever, fucking 8 years ago. So like keep that shit. Every year they're like, oh, it's going to be a brutal winter. The farmers almanac says so. It's like, first off, let me tell you something about the farmers and their almanacs. They can go fuck themselves. Number one. Number two, fuck all that snow. So, nah, fuck it. Fuck that cold.
I'm with you.
And then number 5, would you rather run a marathon or do 1,000 burpees in one day?
Fuck. A marathon is 26 miles?
Yes.
Fuck. And 1,000 burpees. I'm not particularly fond of burpees, but you know what? It kind of on the bucket list. I would like to try like a marathon one day. Like I know I could knock out a 5K. I feel like I could probably even do a 10K, but 26 miles is fucking a lot, man. That's something you got to train for. And I'm not particularly like fond of running like now, like being older and having like a little bit of the old man knees. It's like that's why like I do a lot of walking, but I don't do a lot of running. I actually want to start correcting that because you need wind. You need your wind. If I run for the bus, or I don't like to be like out of breath. I catch my breath pretty quick. Being in better shape, but I remember, dude, like fucking running for the bus, and I'd be fucking hyperventilating. And that's not good. So running is conditioning. Marathon. I don't think I want to run 26 miles, burpees, 1,000 in a one day. I think I'm just gonna have to take the 1,000 burpees on that one. You know,
Ay.
I'm gonna have to take the 1,000 burpees. You know what it is? Like, even though I'm not fond of them, it's more in line with what I do. I like to lift weights. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I had somebody who was like, "Yeah, well, I never see you doing cardio. Do you do any cardio?" And I'm like, "I walk." But the burpees is like almost like a full body exercise, kind of more in tune with what I do. So I don't want to do 1,000 of them, but 1,000 burpees over
You
26
got a whole
miles.
day to do it though.
Oh yeah, so
So
bang, space it out. Fucking 20 at a time, 20 at a time, all day, all day.
I I remember at football practice, I want to say senior year. I remember it was cold. The ground was solid, and we had to do burpees. And I remember being on the verge of tears. I was like,
Man,
I would hit my hand on the grounds. I was just like, yo, I was, and it was in that moment, I was like, fuck burpees forever. I had yesterday for my workout. As I'm looking through, it was like a half burpee. Do 10 half burpees. I was like, I don't want to do any kind of a burpee. I
nah,
switched that. I changed that to something else. I was like, we gonna go ahead and find something comparable, But we ain't doing no burpees in this house. Like my daughter, she likes doing burpees because she's 8 and she's a sociopath. Like
yeah,
I don't do no burpees. Fuck all that noise. Like I might do like at jiu-jitsu sometimes. Like a punishment is push-ups, but every so often they'll make us do burpees, and I am miserable. I remember one time they're basically like, because I was trying to get through them, so they're going at my pace. Coach was like, "Are you going? You're going to go at Dante's pace," and I was going fast as fuck because I hate burpees. At the 10, I was like, "We're gonna get these shits done in like 8 seconds. I don't want to do this. Fuck this."
yeah.
And everybody else is looking like, "Yo, chill, dog, slow down." I was like, "No."
Nah, just get it over with. Yeah, get it over with. Fucking yeah, I'm not a fan, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't I mean, again, like anything, it's an exercise that will boost your heart rate and stuff. It's a full body thing, but I'm just not particularly like a fan of the movement. And again, being a little bit older, our knees, your joints, like I feel like when you're young, knock that shit out. But we're at a point in our lives that we got to be smarter with the things we do, and how we exercise and train, so we could do it long term. We don't want fucking to have to get a knee replacement in fucking 5 or 10 years or anything like that. Like my older brother, like he does boxing training. He's been doing that all his life. He had to have 2 knee replacements. Like he's good now. He's still training and doing his thing, but to me that sucks to have to do something like that. Hopefully that's not in my future, because again, lifting weights is it's not good for your joints. I've been squatting, again, it's nothing crazy, but for me it's a personal record of 185 for like 8 reps on the fucking barbell squat. That was an exercise I wasn't even doing a few months ago. I was like super intimidated with the fucking squat rack. And but now that's like a personal goal, like do more weight every time. But I feel it, man. My knees, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling it in my lower back, so I got my belt, I got, my knee straps now, and I use my knee straps actually for the first time today, bro, and those shits were the truth, bro. Like I was able, like I wasn't able to do more reps than I usually did that I was able to do the last time, but I still hit my 185 for 8 for 4 sets. Actually, I did better because last time on the 4th set, I was only able to do 6. I got to the full 8 this time. So a little better. But the knee wraps, like putting them shits around my knees, like it helped with the stability. And I felt like I was able to just kind of like just had more of a handle like on the heavy weight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
so the knee wraps with the combination with the belt, I was like, man, that feels good, but we have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Again, like just doing a little squat without any weight. And I'm like, now that I'm doing that, I was like, oh, now what's this little click in my knee? what is this? Like, I'm like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
so we got to be careful. We got to be careful.
It's that age click. What's that sound? What's that
Because
sound?
the body's telling you, yo, chill, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Be easy.
Your body's like, oh, wait a minute, we can't work out today. You hear that click? You're like, nah, we getting through this. We'll do upper body.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
working out. You ain't speaking on me. Um, and I'm gonna give you a bonus one. So you
Yes.
did 5. I
Yes.
got a bonus. Would you rather? Would you rather do? Let's see. A week of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or a week of Muay Thai?
Muay Thai is like the kickboxing. Kickboxing.
Yeah, like knees and elbows.
Oof, fuck, bro. You know what? Like things like that always interesting to me. Like, but it's been a long time since I've like taken like real hits to like my face or body. The jujitsu is like grappling and stuff like that, which like I love that because the wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it goes hand in hand. I always found like Muay Thai, like in the kickboxing and shit like that, like super interesting. Like as a sport, it looks fucking brutal as fuck. But I don't think I want to fucking get my fucking head kicked in. And I'm actually interested in taking like a Brazilian like jiu-jitsu class just to kind of see how it is, like, and just as like a training thing, like it's just something different, do something different than just go and fucking pound the weights out, all the time, I love doing that. But now I'm like, hey, like maybe take a karate class, take a jiu-jitsu class. Like there's even like right down the block from where I work, somebody has a ring set up, a wrestling ring. And I'm in the best shape of my life. Like I could get back into that. But then, the risk of injury is so high, and it's like, is it worth it? Like maybe just to kind of roll around the ring and just to have a little fun, we'll see, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go with the jiu-jitsu on that one, bro. Hopefully we could roll around one day if I'm ever down there in Maryland.
Hey, telling you, we tried it at Skolstis last year, but like Laura vetoed it right away. Like a couple years ago, Alan came over from Ireland. He does jujitsu, and they're like, Laura texts me, goes, Bobby says there's a guy from Ireland who does BJJ. He wants to meet you. And I text her, I was like, oh, word, tell him I'll bring my gear. I get a text 5 minutes later. Bobby says, do not bring your gear. So then this year, I packed two gis, belts. I was ready. And Alan had already brought his belt anyway. He was ready. He brought no gi stuff. He was prepared. And then, like, I'd never seen a person get dressed into a gi so fast. It was like Superman going into the phone booth.
Nice.
He came out the bathroom. Laura saw it, and she goes, absolutely not. And I was like, oh. And then I went to Bob. I was like, oh, come on, dude. Come on. We'll go over there in the field. And ultimately, the big thing was like, yeah, we don't want the neighbors seeing people fighting.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, all right,
yeah.
Fair enough. You win on this one. You win this time. I'll come up with a foolproof plan next time. But yeah, like I was thinking about that earlier as we were talking about everything. It's like, dude, I think you're at that point now. Go ahead, get on the mats. And there's a meme I put up a while back, and I got some shit for it. Obviously, anything I post to get shit for it was like, everybody thinks they're in shape until they try jiu-jitsu. And I don't think it's just jiu-jitsu though. I think it's any, combat sport.
Yes.
Boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, any of them. They're all going to be amazing workouts, but if you're not conditioned for those things, you're gonna be wiped out.
Yeah.
By the 30-minute mark. So, but I think you're at that point. I was like, come on, you graduated. Let's go. That's on the mat, son.
Yep. Yeah, and what you just said is fucking so true. My gym actually offers, like, they actually used to offer, I think they still do, just not at a time that's convenient for me, but boxing classes. If you remember the gym, you could just go and they do like 45-minute or hour sessions. I did a couple of those when I was able to. And bro, I used to that was a workout, bro. And like you said, I thought I was in shape. And you start throwing the hands a little bit, and it's like, holy shit, you just get winded so fast. The drills they make you do, I'm not able to do the classes, but I got my gloves, and I'm actually thinking of just going to the studio where the bag is and just fucking throw the hands, just do it myself and do cardio that way. Like, I'd rather do cardio that way than fucking going on a treadmill or the Stairmaster. Well, maybe the Stairmaster, because, I'm trying to build a little shelf for myself, but got to do that a little bit more. But the boxing is fun, but you're right, bro, so taxing when you're fucking not conditioned to do it. It's funny because you said that, and it's like, it reminded me of a time me and my friends back in the day when we were like, 19, 20, we all put on the gloves and we're like, all right, we're gonna do 3 1-minute rounds and throw the hands. Like, bro, we were fucking wiped after a fucking minute. 1 minute of fucking throwing the hands, we were done. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I get it for sure.
I think that's something we all do around that age. We had a pair of gloves too, and I remember I remember we were in the kitchen. I don't know why we were in the kitchen boxing, and it was like, all right, let's go. It was like a confined space, and we were exhausted. Um, and then my buddy had he still does not had, but we played the boxing game on the Oculus, and
Ooh,
it's a hell of a workout. And the thing that I was excited about is like I was prepared for it. So as we're doing the fight, there like he and his brother are like huffing and puffing. Like in between rounds, you get your break. I'm like hopping around. You can press the button to say, skip the break. Let's go. I
okay.
was like, fuck that break. Like, let me get back in here. I got momentum on my side. I can't cool off. I got to hit this dude. And I ended up knocking the dude out, which
Oh,
at that
nice.
time, like he nor his brother had knocked him out yet. So I was excited. I was like, "Ooh!"
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I think they hadn't even knocked him down yet. So it was like, don't take no breaks. Like, when they give you that break in between rounds, take 10 seconds and then hop back in and start whipping that dude's ass.
I
Like,
could,
don't be
I could,
scared.
I could imagine how that shit must look. Like I didn't really have like a lot of experience with the 3D visors and the Oculus and shit like that. Like but I got to mess with my nephew's joint when I was visiting a few months ago. Like he threw on like Resident Evil, he threw on like some
Oh,
other game. I was like, holy shit, this fucking like looks crazy. Like I'm thinking like old school 3D when you fucking put on the red and fucking blue glasses and shit like that.
virtual boy.
I'm like, yo, this is like you're in this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I could just imagine how that's gonna fucking get better and better. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's dope. I would love to. I'm gonna look it up now that you mentioned. I'm gonna check that out on YouTube just to see how it looks because I could imagine that must look dope. But fucking must be in there. Bah, bah, bah. You
It's
gotta
a
like
fun
hit the.
time.
Do you gotta hit the buttons like to throw the punch, or you actually throwing the punch does it?
You're throwing
That's
the
dope.
punches.
That's fucking
It's
dope.
it's a legit workout, and I'm a heavy sweater, so I for sure, even though I wasn't tired, I was dripping on their kitchen floor. I need to get a fucking mop in this motherfucker because it's about to get ugly. But it's like I considered actually getting one just for that, but I was like, but I'm not gonna play anything else on this joint. So I'm not gonna pay whatever it was, 300 or 400, five
Yeah,
hundred even,
yeah.
for
Expensive.
this workout. I could just shadow box.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. You don't need the technology. Even though I did see something about like a new Batman game that's supposedly supposed to be really
Yeah,
good or looks
it
crazy
looks
on
good.
it. I'm like, that's what makes like that shit like, damn, like I kind of want it. But then like you, I'm like, is it worth it? Like the 300 or 400 for that one thing,
Yeah.
like, so I don't know. We'll see. I always like to kind of wait until that technology gets a little better and better, and then as it gets better, then it just eventually like gets cheaper. So maybe when it's like around $200, I'll fucking dive in.
Yeah, I think I just saw PS5 is like 340 maybe. And
Yeah, look at that. Not
I
bad.
was like, you know what? Oops, I might accidentally have one fall into the shopping cart, on
Ooh.
Sunday, and then I might just accidentally come home with it and accidentally plug it into the TV and accidentally have Madden and college football. I don't know. We'll see how
all,
life goes.
all by accident.
Yeah, accidentally. But all right, Jose. Uh, this was fucking awesome, dude. I'm,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
glad we got to do this. So thank you. Before we get out of here, you got any shout outs or mentions that you want to leave the listeners with?
Sure. I'm part of the Realm of Collectors, so please check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and realmofcollectors.com. I'm part of a podcast with my rock fam every single Monday, Enter the Realm, on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, 8 p.m. ish Eastern Standard Time every single Monday on that channel. Please, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I do have a couple of Instagrams. I've been kind of inactive on my original account, Harrican BX, where I used to post all the geek stuff and the Transformers pictures, and I occasionally pop in and post a Transformers story here and there with my latest action figure pickup. But I've been slacking on that one because I've been focused on the other account at DS4 Fitness on Instagram. Please follow me there if you want to see all the fitness content and everything I got going on a daily basis. Like I said, man, thank you for having me. I'm really just loving that life. Glad that I'm doing it. The rewards I'm reaping from it are fucking incredible. So please just check me out there if you want to get a peek into like the real life stuff, and not so much of like the geeky stuff. But I promise I will get back on my geek grind pretty soon. And I guess that's pretty much it. Verbally Challenged with Harrican BX is still out there. Over 100 episodes you could listen to. So check that out. And I haven't put out any content in a while, but our conversation tonight, think that may change very soon. And that's pretty much it, guys. Dante, I appreciate it, bro. This was fucking awesome. Had a lot of fun. And I'll be back whenever you want to have me.
Oh, absolutely. We will definitely be doing the wrestling episode come up around March or so, and then
Nice.
just just fucking converse any old time. I mean,
Of
I
course.
don't think I went to any of the questions on my goddamn list over here anyway, other than the what would you rather's. So, and that's perfectly fine because that's the making of a good episode is like, hey, I have an outline, I have questions, but we don't need to touch those because most of those questions get answered just in the regular flow of the conversation. So, thank you
Nice.
for that.
No problem, brother. Appreciate it.
And as always, to the listeners, thank you. If y'all got any questions, concerns, criticisms, anything, feel free to reach out. You can find me at bjj.wiki on Instagram, or you can find me at Off the Mats Podcast also on Instagram. Um, that BJJ Wiki is where I do most of my work. You send a DM there, definitely going to get to you. You send it over there to Off the Mats. I actually will see it and get excited because nobody ever messages me there. So I'm like, oh shit, I got a friend. So I'll rush over there in a heartbeat. Also, go leave some reviews. I used to get reviews on Off the Mats in the beginning. I ain't had no reviews in a while. So go over and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go leave a review. And hey, I'll read your shit on air. As long as it ain't, if it's something rude, I'll probably read it on air. And then I'll like say some fucked up shit. Like I'm gonna take some time because I got to, come up with a rebuttal. But go leave a good review. To be quite honest, like leave a good review because it helps us a lot. It gets us seen in the algorithm and pushes the podcast out to other listeners. So go leave a review, and if you do, I'll be your best friend. Promise, Scout's honor. I used to be a Boy Scout. I want to give a big shout out to Nerd Rage Radio. Actually, I want to give a big shout out to Rimmer Collectors too, because this is all kind of collectively in one pocket. Rimmer Collectors, Nerd Rage Radio, all of it. Nerd Rage Radio, for sure, because that's first off where I started. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing a podcast.
Yeah.
I go over there and I talk my shit, and they're like, "Yeah, like, we want to talk some other shit. I don't want to talk about jiu-jitsu." So I was forced to do my own thing. So big shout out over there, Bobby, Chris, Joe, Maryland Phil, Ricky Ticky, everybody that's over there. I love
Yes,
you
sir.
guys. Thank you. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be doing this. I also want to give a shout out to my other podcast. So, you like horror? If you like scary movies, go check it out. We just dropped the Exorcist episode, and actually, my co-host on the episode was actually Bobby from Nerd Rage Radio. He and his whole family, the Skullface family, showed up, and we talked about the Exorcist, and it went a little, a little off the rails a little bit, but it was still a good time because we're talking about the curse of the Exorcist and the behind the scenes stuff that they speculated was a curse. And I give my thoughts on if I believe it was cursed or not. So go check that out. And it's just any of the episodes as we're about to get into 2025. We're going to be doing our new theme, remakes versus originals, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I got 12 films lined up, and we're going to go ahead and make that happen. We're going to talk about the original and the remake, and and kind of see how they compare to each other. And then last but not least, I want to give a big shout out here to my guests again, Mr. Jose Diaz. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for good conversation and just overall just being a fucking awesome dude. So thank you. And I can't wait to have you back on and do the wrestling talk and just talk general, just nonsense, whether it be nerd talk, whether it be wrestling talk, whether it be more workout talk or goals or aspirations, stuff like that. It's a fucking great time. So big shout out to Jose and thank you again.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Same to you. And again, to the listeners, we love you guys. You know what it is. You guys keep listening. And we're going to definitely keep making these shows. Thank you, everybody. And goodbye.
birthday boy with it. Now let me sing a song.